As a kid, I always had two questions: why and how. Maybe these are not the most appropriate pictures, but they give you the idea. I've always been curious and eager to touch the things that I shouldn't even come close to. I answered some of my why and how questions when I got a PC at 11 years old. Other questions I didn't even answer until I got into medical school. However, a more important turning point happened when I realized that science doesn't answer why questions, science answers how questions. This realization allowed me to double down on my how questions. Doing my first ever poster presentation in an international conference, getting 7 accepted abstracts in American Academy of Neurology. However, it gets dull sometimes. I mean, it was education, but there was no entertainment to make it accessible to the public, to make it accessible for me back then when I was 11 years old. And that was a problem. During a meeting with a friend, he casually mentioned the concept and the trend of edutainment. I wasn't familiar with it, so I just started Googling it. And here I got an aha moment, and I came across Howtown.
The Howtown.
At Howtown.
Howtown.
Howtown is
When you look at the Howtown videos, it is exactly like a research paper. I'm not complaining. Matter of fact, I'm really buying. But who am I in the first place? My name is Muhammad Diab. As a side hobby, I've always been making YouTube documentaries, and with all with that may seem that I've been consistent. Actually, no. I usually upload one documentary every 4 months because I try to make it as authentic as I can, capturing something that I went through or some skill that I tried to learn during that time. By trying to be as authentic as I can, I have built my little corner of the internet, and they have been really supportive. At some point in 2021, somebody commented that my documentaries reminds him of Johnny Harris. I remember at that time I was like, who is Johnny Harris? But now I know about Johnny Harris. I know about edutainment. I know about science communication. I know about science, and I have an offer. If we look at the Howtown YouTube banner, we will find the following items: a rock, some plants, some animals. Most of these items have been explored multiple times in a different Howtown videos. However, a different item at the very corner of the banner have been somewhat neglected, which is the human body. Some of you will argue that no, there is a video about the human body which is, well, more about the genetics of humans and how they evolve, and somewhat about anthropology. Well, let's run an experiment. We will go to Google Trends and we will get the web search for the past 5 years about genetics as the entire field of study. So if you're studying the human genetics, the rabbit genetics, a plant genetics, the entire field of the study, versus just one medical condition, which is a stroke, which is something I'm really interested about in my research. What you will find in that, across the 5 years, stroke have been consistent and matter of fact rising. On the other hand, genetics have been fluctuating. However, it gets really interesting now, because if we just switch it from the web search to YouTube search, which is the entire business model, what you will find is stroke, this just one medical condition, have more interest, more than the entire field of genetics. So what this data tell us? There is a starving crowd who just need answers to their how questions. And my argument is, if there's a starving crowd and there's enough literature to give them their answers, and there is the science communication tool that make it friendly, accessible, and edutainment, how come no one is doing it? Well, I'm here and I'm doing this video, I'm editing and writing about it to fulfill this object at the corner of the Howtown YouTube banner, the human body. I would like to know what are the brain-related topics Howtown is working on, and I would like to participate and work on 3 projects with you guys. What do I want in return? Well, I would like to be a golden citizen in Howtown. I just want to be part of the team. Second thing is, I would really appreciate a happy birthday on my birthday, which is on the 26th of July. In other words, the video script that I provided and the other series that I would like to work with you guys in. I ask for no money in return, and I would be really grateful with a smile on my face to do the work. The only question I have now is just not how or why. It's actually, when can I start? Thank you. This was good. Okay, excuse me because I'm actually fasting because I'm a Muslim. Tomorrow is a Eid. Yes, I'm living in Alexandria, as I told you, which is like 2 minutes from the library, but an hour and a half from my Howtown. My Howtown. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. It started affecting my brain now.